welcome back to the rest of the story. This is how I spent my Monday. I'm hauling manure over by Platteville. The field conditions are just adequate where we can get away with hauling manure. The ground is actually frozen up from all that cold weather we had over the weekend. It's really not even that warm out right now. I think it was, 28 degrees when I last checked. But it is, well, we're past the middle of April, and everybody I've talked to this point has said this has been the coldest April to anybody's knowledge in any recent memory. I can vouch for that because the last couple of years, by the 1st of April, we were getting pretty consistent, 50-degree weather days. This whole week that we're in right now, I think the average temperature is supposed to be 40, and that's the later half of the week. No, this past weekend, everybody knows was, similar to about mid-January, and we checked the 14-day future forecast, and they're predicting we're only supposed to have one decent day. Well, when I say decent, I should rephrase that and say they're only saying we're supposed to have one 60-degree day in the next 2 weeks, and that is 2 weeks from yesterday. So as far as late planting and getting into the field at a decent time this year, nobody's really too worried yet, but you give them another week or two. If we go another week and the field conditions and the weather conditions don't improve, I think we're going to start hearing about a lot of guys who are starting to sweat a little bit. Now for us, last week of April, the first week of May, ideally the first week of May we would like to be putting something in the ground. Myself, the date that I usually have in mind that I want to be done planting is usually May 15th. That means done with everything. If I had to flex on that a little bit and say May 15th to be at least done with corn at the very latest, I would say that, and then before the 1st of June to have all of our soybeans in the ground. But it is becoming one of those things where the sooner the better, and the last couple of years we've been able to get away with that, and every year you always hear somebody say at least once that it's not an average year. You show me an average year. What is an average year supposed to look like when it comes to the weather anymore? And then we can go by that golden standard, because every year for the last handful of years, I'd say, has not been an average year. Every year has had its own issues, its own challenges we've had to deal with. Last fall we were looking at single-digit weather in November and rain, and what was it all the way up till the end of November to the first week of December, where things had straightened out where we could actually get some decent field work done. And that's when we got a lot of our tillage done. We did 99% of all of our chisel plowing in the span of a week and a half, and that's pretty good. That's running some pretty long days. We didn't chisel plow everything that we typically chisel plow, and we can thank the VT for that, because I did get away from chisel plowing some of our corn stalks. I'd say about 100 acres plus we did not chisel plow that we typically chisel. We just hit it with the VT. If it was a true regular year for us where we chisel plowed everything that we normally do, that we have chiseled in the last 4 years, yeah, we could have gotten everything done yet as far as primary tillage last fall, but it would have been at least another week. But I just ran out of time. So this is what the conditions are until things start to improve. I think this whole week is just kind of a loss. It's going to take the rest of this week for the weather to get back to where the ground conditions to get back to where we were a week ago. So, well, stay tuned until tomorrow, or at least until the weather starts to improve. But until then, take care, take it easy, keep in touch. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.